We're ready, Mrs. Norman.
All right. Well, good evening, and especially to you, Ms. Burks. It's good to have you with us this evening. And
Yes,
we
ma'am.
want to welcome you on behalf of the I'm a Star Foundation and our Duval County Public Schools. And we're going to get started this evening by showing you a very powerful video. And this video is something that we think will be a source of inspiration for you. And this video is going to be presented by an outstanding individual who developed a platform for all of our children to develop their inner strength and their inner potential that allows them to be stars. And that's why you hear the name, the I'm a Star Foundation. And so right now I'm going to present to you the person who is the CEO and the founder of the I'm a Star Foundation. And she's going to present this video to you. Please welcome our CEO and founder, Ms. Betty Seabrook Burney. Ms. Burney.
Thank you so much, Mrs. Norman. And I know that we have another person joining us. So right before we share the video,
Okay.
I will get the other person. Hi. Okay, they're not connected to audio yet. Hi, the person that just joined, could you let us know your name, please? I think they're having trouble. They're not connected to audio. But Ms. Sharnita, I'm going to go ahead and share the screen so that you can take a look at this powerful video. And we would love for you, once we're done, to just tell us one thing that jumped out at you after seeing this. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Give me one second.
A great parent is not the one who gives the most money, not the one who gives the most toys, not the one who gives the best place to live. A great parent is the one.
I'm sorry.
That's okay.
There we go.
A great parent is not the one who gives the most money, not the one who gives the most toys, not the one who gives the best place to live. A great parent is the one who gives attention. To be a great parent, all you need to do is be present with your child. Not give presents, be present. That's all kids really want. They want you to notice them, to be loved, to be wanted. The best parent is the one whose eyes light up when their child enters the room. The parent who makes a promise to love unconditionally. The parent who leads by example. Not by what you say, but by what you do. Kids will never pay attention to your words. They will always and only pay attention to your actions and your intentions. A great parent works on themselves. A great parent makes their own mind strong, knowing their kids will likely follow in their footsteps. Heal yourself. Make your own mind strong so your children can see the clearest example of what a great life looks like. Setting a clear and strong example of what type of human being you want your kids to become starts with you. It's up to you to set the example of kindness and compassion toward others, to set the example of what it is like to be yourself, to set the example of living a magical life that you choose. That's what a great parent does. Set their child free. Allow them to be themselves. Allow them to make their own decisions. Live your life in such a way that when your kids think of kindness, compassion, strength, authenticity, and real joy, they think of you. A great parent knows not to allow anything in their life they don't want their children to reproduce in their lives. That includes toxic relationships. That includes bad habits. That includes making decisions based on fear. A great parent listens. They don't lecture. A great parent supports, never shames. A great parent guides and sets free. Being a parent is not a job, it's a privilege. Being a parent is not a burden, it's a blessing. They are always watching. What kind of role model will you be for your children?
So, Miss Sharnita,
Yes,
can you
ma'am.
tell us one thing that jumped out at you with watching that video?
Well, it's funny because it's several things that would have jumped, but I'm gonna be obedient and just say one thing.
Well, you can say more than one. You can say more.
Say more than one.
My pastor always taught us this. You know, you are a advocate, you are a role model for those children. You know, you can say all day long towards a child, but when you start showing your actions of how you do things in life and you showing them how to go to church each and every day, read your Bible each and every day. Not only that, don't always give $1 offering, always give them more to put an offering. You showing you putting a foundation right there to show them how they should grow up and never stray away. But it's always a time they are going to stray away, and that's common. But you know, that's another thing we parents always, I ain't gonna say we parents, some parents, I'll put it that way, that we will give children we'll give them things and everything else. We'll give them tablets. We'll give them TVs. They're like babysitters. We'll give them toys and everything else. But we're really hiding something behind it. We're hiding because our lives, we feel like our lives are crashing, or our lives are more important than a child, or putting them off on other people when we're supposed to really be taking care of our children, and then sitting there and, you know, watching them grow up, because each and every day you're going to miss. You're going to miss something. Thank you. But anywho, I did that with both of my children. Aiden, he was the first, and Sky was the second. Aiden, I didn't get to spend much time with him as he was growing up because I was always bouncing around house to house. But now we're stable. His brother comes along. And I got to sit there and watch, you know, his brother grow up, because he has a difficult problem of breathing and stuff when he was coming along. So I had to stay 3 years out of work. Now, both of them in the same schoolhouse. And I still get to watch them. And, you know, I prayed to the Lord and asking him for a job that I wanted. Come to find out, it was a job that I didn't too much care about. And didn't even notice that I was going to have a job. But anywho, the job is based around their school. So I can be able to focus on them and watch them on the weekends and the holidays and everything else, still get to enjoy that time. But I understand some parents can't do that because they have a full job, or, you know, they have a partial job, and their time has been taken up because of that, because they have to provide. And I understand that. But my thing is, my role model towards them is always, you know, telling them to trust in God, because don't put your trust in no man. And not only that, I always tell Aiden and Skylar, read your Bible, you know, be active in the church, do something for the Lord. I say, because it might not show down here on earth, but it's always up there in his book that it will show that you have done something, you know, down here on earth. Right. And I always tell him another thing too. Don't always depend upon me, because I'm not going to always be here on this earth. Always depend upon Jesus. I said, because he's your Lord and Savior.
Keep preaching the whole sermon. Come on,
And we thank you so much for that,
Yes,
Ms. Anita. And I see that we have Angela Shepherd who's joined us, and someone who's on iPhone. Can you tell us your name so that I can make sure that we have everybody?
Your name is you.
No, I think no. It's I have Miss Shepherd. Miss Shepherd, that's you, correct?
Yes, ma'am. It's me.
I have Miss Shepherd. The person that I think signed in on iPhone may not have their audio on. But thank you so much, Miss Sharnita. That was excellent, and we're just so happy to to have you on and for you to share those things, especially those things that were personified in that video. If you're signing on YouTube, please make sure that you sign in, and we'll turn it back to Miss Norman.
Okay, thank you so much, parents, and we are certainly happy that you have joined us this evening. And as Ms. Burney directed you to follow that description on YouTube, and there's a link so that you can just click it and then go ahead and sign in. Thank you so much for joining us. And so we're going to move right on along so that we won't keep you so long this evening. We want to also, parents, before we get started on focusing on the needs of your child, we want to empower you also by giving you a few tips that will help you reduce some of the stress that you are experiencing these days. And certainly we are all experiencing a little stress. And so our Miss Victoria Perry, who is our STAR mentoring coordinator for our elementary schools, will talk to you parents just a little bit about reducing that stress in your lives. You'll hear a lot and be hearing a lot her name and a lot more from her. So Ms. Perry, can you talk with them just a little bit about reducing that stress in their lives?
Absolutely. Good evening, parents. I am the one that your student will be seeing at Crystal Springs. My name is Miss Perry. So today I just want to talk a little bit about how we can reduce stress and anxiety during this difficult time that we're in. So there is a picture on the screen. You guys can take a screenshot of that. So you can remember at your leisure. One of my favorite ones on there is to always slow down. We do a lot. Life is going fast right now. A lot is going on. We have to juggle a lot. But once we slow down and kind of just take a breather, things will be a little bit better. We tend to get anxiety because we're overthinking. So when we slow down and we lose control of things that we can't control, things become a little bit better. Like this pandemic, we couldn't control what's going on, but we can control our actions by washing our hands, making sure we're wearing our masks, and doing the proper things that's needed to be done. So to release stress, like I said, just remember to slow down, release the things that you can't control, and take a moment for yourself, especially as parents. I know you guys are always on the go. Personally, I'm not a parent myself, but I do understand. I see my mom, get stressed out, and so taking it upon myself to do things to help her ease the load a little bit and allowing her to have her own personal me time, because that helps her balance raising a family as well. So parents, definitely take time for yourselves and don't feel guilty for that, because you definitely deserve it. So if you could, like I said, screenshot that, take those nuggets, and just try to do at least one thing a day on that list to take a walk, meditate, slow down, read a book, whatever you need to do to just reduce your stress and reduce anxiety. And it'll help you guys along your day and throughout your week, and even raising your family.
Yeah. You put me seeing bottom of here too.
Okay.
Yes, my fear. Ouch, boy.
Okay.
I say sit on my
Okay. You okay, Ms. Shepherd? Is that okay? All right. Well, thank you so much, Ms. Perry. That was definitely excellent advice that we can all use, parents and the others of us who are listening to you. So we're going to continue. And at this time, we're going to present to you now the focus of this evening's presentation, the focus of this evening's parent session. And it is entitled Survival, the Beginner's Guide to Exploration. So it sounds exciting, and it's going to be presented to you by certainly an exciting person. She is one who wears many hats. She is our student success coordinator for Bridge to Success High School, but she's also our STAR mentoring coordinator for our Bridge to Success Middle School. So she's going to be our presenter tonight as she presents the beginner's survival, the beginner's guide to exploration. And the most exciting thing about her this evening is that it is her birthday, but she's going to go ahead and present to us. So, Miss Dawson.
Thank you so much, Ms. Norman. Good evening, parents. My name again is Ms. Dawson. I mostly work with my middle and high school babies in the Bridge to Success program, but tonight is all about y'all, my elementary school kids. So one thing that the parent video showed us was that, one thing that I took away from it was that parents lead by example. And one thing that we do as parents is show our kids our organizational skills. Some of us might have organized chaos. Some of us might organize to a T. So I'm here tonight to let you know how you can organize a lot better. And when your child sees you do it, they're going to do it at school as well. All right. So I'm going to share my screen really quickly with the PowerPoint to get us started. And it is entitled The Beginner's Guide to Exploration, because right now we're exploring new territory. And whenever you explore new territory, you're going to have to come prepared. So I am going to start my slideshow. There we go.
Hey there, Skylar.
All right. And it is a jungle out there with everything that we have to do as parents to make sure our kids, especially if they're learning from home, there are certain things that we have to do if they are going to school. There are certain safety precautions we have to take that we didn't have to take last year. But I'm here to make it a little bit easier for you. So the first thing you need whenever you're exploring any type of uncharted territory is a roadmap. Now, I grew up in Jacksonville, was born and raised here. But if you ask me how to get to some place that's not on my side of town where I live, I'm going to get lost without my GPS. So you're going to need a roadmap. And your roadmap as a parent can be as simple as a memo pad. All right. Always keep something with you in your purse, in your backpack, and this goes for the child as well. Keep something quick that you can write different little notes down for. With your memo pad, list your goals for the week. All right. The things that you need to accomplish just a week in advance. Don't take it too far and plan months ahead, because then you sort of kind of lose focus. So list out all your goals for the week. What I like to do is on my list of things to do, I put little boxes next to it so that I feel a sense of accomplishment when I get it done. Sometimes if I have stuff to do, I'll put stuff on my list that I did already just to make myself feel good about it. So I'm like, okay, I got a good head start. I can get the rest of this list done. All right. Also give yourself a timeline. If I put stuff on my list and don't give myself a due date, guess what's going to happen? My list going to sit here and I procrastinate. So if I know on my list that I need to get this done by Friday, it's already Tuesday. I need to get it done. All right. Another thing on your roadmap, school information. Your child's school sends information home via email and they'll call you. Sometimes you get those robocalls. Well, if you don't have an email address on file for your school, and if you don't have a good number or a number that works or a number that you're going to actually pick up, you're missing out on a whole lot of information, especially nowadays because they can't send paper flyers home as often as they could, like last year. But with, COVID and everything, they can't send as much literature home in paper form as they, as we used to. So you have to make sure that your email address is on file and the correct telephone number. One thing that the I'm a Star Foundation runs into when we're making parent calls is that half of the numbers are disconnected, or half of the numbers are people who used to have your old cell phone number. So if you could, it's a simple phone call. Call your baby school and update your records. Even call them just to see if they have the correct number and email address on file, just to cover all your bases. Set a schedule. That's where your notepad comes in with your kid at school. When it's time for them to come home, hey, don't turn on that TV, turn off the video game, go get your homework done. Your child is more likely, to do better on homework. And as a student, you can finish your homework faster if you do that first when you get home, because guess what? That information is still in your brain. If you go home, I'm telling the truth. If you go home and watch 30 minutes of TV, guess what's fresh on your mind? Whatever happened that episode. If you go home and play Fortnite, guess what's on your mind? Whatever your score is or who got the most kills. Not whatever your math teacher or your history teacher said not even an hour ago. So if you come home and do your homework first, I promise you, you get it done faster and it'll be more correct. All right. So make sure you get that homework time in. Family time. Family time is also important. with COVID, especially if you are spending more time at home, it's important to have something to do so the kids and you won't sit at home bored. So maybe on your list of goals, maybe make a list of hobbies that you want to try out, a list of crafts that you want to do together. My daughter made my binoculars for my survival kit because we do crafts together in our spare time. So just something simple as craft time, make a new recipe, figure out what your child wants to, learn how to make, if it's macaroni and cheese or a grilled cheese sandwich. Pretend like y'all have a YouTube channel or something and say, well, hey, thanks for tuning in, y'all. This is our YouTube channel. First, I'm gonna get some cheese and some bread, and this is how we do it. So you can have, fun time when it comes to stuff like that. So make a list, write it down what you want to do. Because if I don't make a list, I'm gonna forget it. If my grocery list has 2 things on it, I have to write it down because I'm gonna forget both things, and then I'm gonna come with a basket full of stuff, spent $200 in Publix, and I have nothing that was supposed to be on my list. So make sure you write it down. The next thing that you need on your safari is a compass. All right, now it's good that I have a roadmap, but if I don't know up from down, north from south, east from west, it's not gonna do me any good. So one thing that you have to have is a compass. And when I tell you my life is in my planner, have a planner, all right? Have a calendar of some sort. Keep it to where you can see it at all times. My calendar, if I lost this, I wouldn't know up from down, left from right. So what I do, I color coordinate my calendar. I have stuff for school in a different color. I have things that are like doctor's appointments, hair appointments, nail appointments. I don't really go to the nail shop anymore because I learned how to do it myself through COVID. I have different things in pink, different things in blue. And as Ms. Norman mentioned, I have my birthday right here with the little cake symbol on there. So make sure you write things down in your planner, because if I know I have a test, and this is for students as well, if you write it down and you say I have a spelling test on Friday and it's already Tuesday, how many days left do you have to study? About 3. But if it's already Thursday and my test is on Friday, how many days do I have left to study? No, 0, because Friday morning don't count. So you have to make sure that you have a calendar and that it shows you when things are coming up, especially when you have assignments due. In elementary school, teachers tend to give you a pass if you turn in stuff late, especially if you come with an excuse, maybe a doctor's note, or your parents say, well, oh, we didn't get a chance to do it, that's on me. But when you get in middle school, baby, it's a whole different ball game. So please make sure that you have your calendar, your agenda, whatever you want to write it on. And parents, if we have a phone or if our kids have a tablet, it's always a calendar app on it to where they can set reminders. They can set a reminder each day. All right, spelling test on Friday. When it's Wednesday, spelling test on Friday. I need to study for my spelling test or whatever test that I have to take. So please make sure you use your compass. Another thing that goes with the compass is your focus account. That focus account is very important because one date that we can already put on our calendar is October 26th when report cards go home. So with your focus account, your child has a focus account, and then as a parent, we can make what's called a parent focus account. If you have not made one yet, please log on to duvalschools.org. And when you log into your child, it gives you the option of making a parent focus account. Even if you don't have a parent focus account, your child knows how to log into their focus account. You can check their grades, their schedule, and it also gives you a direct link to your child's teacher. So even if you just click on their name, it takes you to a link that emails them. So if the grade is looking a little funny, you can actually contact their teacher. We'll talk about parent-teacher records in a little bit, but please utilize that focus account because it keeps you up to date on their grades. So when progress reports go home and you see the grades aren't where they need to be, you still have a little bit of time left to get them to where they need to be. All right, next thing that we have in our traveler's backpack is protective gear. This is something a little bit new, even though some of this we might have had in our book bags last year. This year, we have to have a little bit more protective gear. That is my mask, and a little thing of hand sanitizer can go in your child's book bag. You can even have a face shield. Face shields are cool but they do no good if you just wear a face shield by itself. You have to have a face shield on with a mask or else it's ineffective. All right. With the masks, these kind that you get from like the doctor's office, these are disposable. So please don't send your child to school with the same mask, the little flimsy ones, the same one, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, throw it in the trash. Whenever they get home, throw it immediately in the trash. These masks are kind of cool because they come in all different colors. I have a pink one, I got a blue one, I got one with Mickey Mouse on it. So you can customize them to where the kid actually wants to wear it. I know in elementary school, the kids having a tough time wearing the mask. If you want a more permanent solution, you can even, in addition to the family hobbies I mentioned, go on YouTube, figure out how to make a cloth mask on your own. That way, whatever the child's favorite color, their favorite character is, you can find that material and make it for them. And that way they don't have to switch them out every day. You can actually just hand wash them, lay them out, and they're ready to go the next morning. Even send them to school with extra masks in a Ziploc bag, just in case they lose the one that you sent them to school with. Make sure you stay protected. Teach them how to wash their hands for 20 seconds if they can sing the birthday song. Since it's my birthday today. That's 20 seconds long, so happy birthday to Miss Dawson when you wash your hands. And if there is no hand washing station, of course, they're double covered because you have the travel size hand sanitizer. The next thing is a first aid kit. Now, when you think of a first aid kit, especially if I'm hiking through a jungle, I might cut my leg on a branch or trip and fall and scrape my elbow or something. But when it comes to school, first aid kit to me is motivational because we all mess up. We all get scrapes and cuts in the sense of maybe we don't bring home a quiz grade that's satisfactory. Maybe we bring home an incompleted assignment that we could have done better on. So that's where first aid comes in. So as parents, instead of saying, boy, you know, you should have brought home a B at least or an A, you're bringing home these C's, I don't like it. Instead of nagging, sometimes we have to pull back and say, well, okay, what do we need to do? All right, you brought home this C, this D, maybe this F. What can we do to fix that? Do we need to make more goals? Do we need to put more assignments in our compass, in our calendar? Do I need to put it on a big old poster on the wall so you remember to study? They even have big giant calendars that you can just peel and stick and put it on the wall. All right. What can we do to make it more engaging for you? If you're not understanding what the teacher's saying, do we need to get you a tutor? What can we do to help pull these grades up? Okay. So sometimes the first aid kit is motivation. Say, well, okay, we wrote it down. Your goal for this week is to bring home at least a B on your history test. Friday comes, your child brings home a B, maybe even an A. All right. So that's when your first aid kit comes in handy because you motivate them and you reward them for doing what they're supposed to do. I know growing up, my parents was like, you brought home these grades because you were supposed to. I'm not, what I look like rewarding you because you supposed to make straight A's. Well, sometimes we need a little bit of a push and some motivation. So that can be in the form of cooking their favorite meal, giving them 30 extra minutes on the game or on the television. You can even give them whatever their favorite candy is. I reward myself in food all the time. If I get my goals done by Friday, I'm going to my favorite restaurant for takeout, of course, but I reward myself in food. So please make sure not only do you reward yourself as a parent, but you reward the child as well. So maybe in addition to making a list of goals for the week, maybe make a list of rewards for the week as well. So when your child writes them themselves, it gives them a sense of like accomplishment and pride, like, oh, I wrote this, so I get to do this at the end of the week. And it motivates them far better than you'll realize. Try it, trust me. All right, oh, there we go. Our last thing in our pack, and I meant to show my little camouflage bag. The last thing in the pack is the actual pack. Okay, so your adventurer's backpack means that all your supplies are in one place. Okay, so make sure your child comes prepared to school. It's like if I go to a staff meeting and, you know, the rest of my staff is there, my boss is there, and I just show up with myself and a smile. And then, of course, the staff meeting starts and they're like, all right, well, we're going to look at, you know, the reports. And I'm like, oh, hold on, I have to go back to my office and get my reports. oh, wait a minute, I got to go back and get my pen. Oh, hold on, I got to go back and get. Your boss gonna look at you crazy and you probably get fired because you've disrupted everybody's time. And now instead of getting out the staff meeting in 45 minutes, it's gonna take an hour and a half because you didn't come prepared. Apply that same logic to your child sitting in somebody's classroom without paper, pencil, anything. So that first 15 minutes, they're spending shuffling in the book bag, knowing there's no paper in there, disrupting the class. Now the teacher has to stop doing what they're doing to get your child some paper and a pencil. It's a mess, all right? That first 10, 15 minutes of a classroom is usually a review or usually something that they're teaching. It's instruction time. So if your child misses that instruction time, they're not paying attention for the rest of the lesson, all right? So you have to make sure your child comes prepared. That means they have their pencils, that means they have their ruler, their highlighter, their calculator, whatever the supplies are. Now, granted, maybe the child doesn't know what page to turn into their book. They can still have their paper and their notebook and pencil out, all right? And sharpen pencils at that, because sometimes the teachers do not allow elementary school kids to sharpen their own pencils. It's a distraction. So make sure you have sharpened pencils. These pencils that I have are not sharpened. So I need to make sure before I send my baby back to school, they're sharpened, all right? Also keep a set of supplies at home. As adults, we tend to only have like pens in the junk drawer in the kitchen. So when it's time for the kid to do homework and supplies mysteriously sprout legs during the school day, and you look through the drawer and you're like, ooh, we don't have any pencils here. Make sure you keep a set of supplies at school and a set of supplies at home. So being prepared is very important because if a child isn't prepared, they tend to get a little embarrassed in school. And when a child gets embarrassed, they tune out. So that means that whole lesson, they're sitting there saying, well, oh, I'm not prepared. So now I got to cause a distraction. Or now I don't know what to do. And I'm focusing on not being prepared. So whatever the teacher's saying is going right over my head. So please send your child to school confident and prepared. All right. And I thought that was the last thing. It's not. The last thing is a travel diary. Every good explorer always takes notes about what they explore. Because otherwise, if you go on a trip and you don't take any pictures or take any notes to remember it, either A, who's going to believe you? Or B, what do you have to look back on to compare your notes to? All right. So your travel diary in this case is your parent folder. All right. And your parent folder can be a simple plastic folder or a paper folder, but I prefer a 3-ring binder. 3-ring binders last a lot longer and you can put a lot more information in them. Now, the information that you're going to put in your parent binder includes your child's shot records, their physical records, a copy of your ID, because you know every time you go to register your child, you need your copy of your ID, social security information, educational documents. If your child has an IEP or a 504 plan, keep that in your parent folder. That way, when it's time to re-register your child, or if they switch schools, you don't have to shuffle through whatever office supplies. You don't have to look through whatever old book bag they had. You can pull it right off your shelf and you have your parent folder right there. And make sure you label it as parent folder so that you know exactly what it is. Maybe even put it as a loud color. So if you got a bunch of black notebooks on the wall, make it bright orange so you'll know which notebook to grab for. Separate tabs for separate kids. The parent earlier mentioned that they had 2 children. If you have 2 children, you just need 1 notebook. Get some dividers and separate it that way, but still have the same types of documents. If your child is in any sports after school or any like team up programs, keep those applications in your parent folder. That way it's all there so you don't have to dig around and look for it. And that way, if you keep multiple copies of it, all you have to do is unclip your binder and say, here you go, it's already handled. Another thing in there, I talked about going on Focus and clicking the teacher's name that takes you to their email. Print off whatever email correspondence you send to that school. Keep a record of whenever you make phone calls, put the date, the time, and a short description of what you either left a message about or what you talked to the teacher about. That way, when it's time for parent-teacher conferences, just like in that staff meeting, you came prepared. You have the receipts, all right? You have your travel diary. So that way, a teacher is more likely and more able to help you if they know what's going on. So say you encounter, well, I sent the teacher an email on approximately this date. I called approximately this time. I even spoke to the principal on this date. Y'all need to help me. I'm trying to help my child. Here are the receipts that I have to prove that I've made contact with the school. That's what you do. You keep a running record as a parent for your notes and for the school. All right. So make sure you have your receipts. Make sure you have your supplies. Make sure you have everything you need to be successful the rest of the school year. And all you have to do is wash, rinse, and repeat every year after that, from the time your baby is in elementary school all the way through college if you need to. But by the time they get to college, guess what? They'll have their own they'll have their college student folder to take with them because they've already learned their organizational skills from you. So their financial aid documents, and Lord knows, depending on what school you go to, that financial aid is a mess. So you need to have all your documents in place. So if you teach your child early on how to stay organized, it's going to be a piece of cake when they get older. All right. So I hope this helps. Make sure if you do have any questions for later, I'm going to drop my email in the chat. For those of you who are on YouTube, you can email me at mdawson@imastarfoundation.org. And I hope this was informative for you.
Thank you so much, Ms. Dawson. Thank you so much. And again, happy birthday to you.
Thank you.
Okay, and thank you, parents, for listening. Also, as Ms. Dawson mentioned, there are some important dates that you should be aware of, and I'm sure that you already know, and that is the second 9 weeks began on yesterday, Monday. So you have a clean slate. You have this opportunity to avoid any mistakes from last quarter. You have this opportunity to bring up any grades. You begin again, and that's a good thing. And then next week, on the 26th, parents, you will receive your report card, and that's so important. I guess you, and I see Miss Angela looking like I already know that. You already know that, and you've already gone into focus, and also Miss Burks, I'm sure you sound as if you are very informed parent, so you probably already know also how to go into focus and look at those report grades. So parents, both of you have done that. That's a good thing. That's a good thing. And so parents, hopefully your schedule will permit you an opportunity to look at those grades every day, and you can see what's going on. And then you don't have to take the child's word. You know, here it is, and lead your child on to continuous improvement. So that's a good thing. Thank you so much, parents. So those are some important dates that you want you to be aware of. And now Ms. Burney will talk to you a little bit about a poll that we'd like you to take. Ms. Burney, did you want them to do that poll this evening or at another time?
We'll do that poll at another time, but what I do want to do is because both of you are on the line, we have a gift card for someone. So we have Miss Shepherd, and we also have Miss Burks on the line. And so what I'm going to do is I have your names on a spinning wheel. We're going to spin the wheel, and whoever's name it lands on, we will get a gift card to you. And we would ask that you would tomorrow, Miss Irvelin, who gave you a call, if you would call that number, give her your address, we will get that to you. We will also get to you the information that Miss Dawson gave. There is a survival kit. That bag that she has, we give those to parents. So she will have a survival bag for you guys. And so I'm going to pull up the wheel, but while I'm pulling up the wheel, Miss Shepherd, we didn't get a chance to hear from you. Can you tell us if you know what you got out of tonight's meeting, and then we'll share the screen and we'll be ready to end our session. You're on mute. You're on mute, Miss Shepherd.
Yes. I said I actually came in on the end because I couldn't really log in. Okay. But pretty much is what Miss Dawson says, pretty much what I do with my baby, with my babies, because I have one that's in the 12th grade and one that's in the 9th, and he's in the 4th.
Okay.
So I pretty much do what she say do anyway. I'm on their focus. I'm on them.
I can tell.
Can't tell me your grades.
That's
You
good.
can't tell me your grades are C and I'm seeing a D or F on them.
Right.
Yeah. So
Right.
you know, I'm on their focus.
That's good.
They'll
So-
try it.
Excellent.
Pretty much, you know. Yes, ma'am.
Key.
Right, Jada?
Okay, so we're going to spin the wheel. I have both names on there, and Kurt is
Both
in
of us should get
blue
one.
and Miss Burks is in red. So I'm going to spin the wheel now, and whoever stops us will be the winner. So let's see what we got here.
Damn.
Okay,
tie.
Oh, he said it's a tie.
Then I didn't need it. Oh.
Good job. Let's spin it again. I'm sorry.
I think I appreciate both of you being on with us. And so, Ms. Burks, if you could contact Ms. Irvelin, if you could, call back to the number that you were called on today, to give your address, we'll get that card to you. We'll get Ms. Victoria Perry. We'll get make sure that she brings a survival bag to both of you for your children. So we appreciate you so very much. Thank you to our I'm a Star staff, Ms. Deborah Norman, Ms. Manye Dawson for that wonderful job that she's done with the survival kit, Ms. Victoria for those information on how not to be stressed, Ms. Norman for keeping it all going, and Ms. Irvin who called you, who tries to make sure that all of our balls are in the air and we're catching them where we're supposed to. Thank you all.
Got a question. How do we get the survival kit? Do they send them to the children or do we go pick them up?
Ms. Perry is going to take them to the school to give it to you. Okay, so she'll give it to the child at school.
Okay, cool. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I can bring them tomorrow to the school.
And Miss, I think what's the lady who was doing the survival kit?
Miss Dawson.
Miss Dawson. I thank you for mentioning something, because some of us, we really don't want to admit to having anxiety. I just went to my doctor today and I was just telling them about that situation that one of my church members, she tells me, she was talking to me about, she asked me, do you have anxiety? I was like, in denial. No, I don't have that. But when I talked to my doctor about it, and she said, if you're losing your sleep, that's cause of anxiety. You're stressed about going through so much because of this pandemic. So I'm glad that she referred me to her. And not only that, I got the information and the medicine that I need to help myself. It's not the idea that, I'm too big to take the medication. It's the idea, it's supposed to help me along the way where I won't be stressed out. And I'm glad that you mentioned that.
Mm-hmm. And we tend to project it onto our children. I know I had to personally learn how to disconnect from the TV, because if I watch the news too many days in a row, I'm agitated for no reason. Like you said, I couldn't sleep. And I've learned that, self-care is really important during this time for us and our children, because, our child can be aggravated and they don't have the, I would say, emotional intelligence sometimes to convey how they're feeling, because their little emotions are all over the place. But we as adults can control how we do things. And if we show them and lead by example and say, well, hey, when mommy gets a little stressed, this is what I do. Let's do these breathing exercises together. Let's watch some yoga on YouTube and chill out a little bit. Let's drink some hot tea together or some hot cocoa, even though it's Florida and the seasons haven't changed from summertime yet. But, it's little things that you can do bit by bit.
And I'm glad that you said that, because yes, it does. It reflects on my youngest child, the stress and stuff. And then next thing you know, you wondering why the youngest child lashing out at other people and stuff, getting agitated. And I'm sitting there saying, now why is you doing that? But then you have people telling you, well, you do it too. You lash out at everybody else too. So, it reflects on them too. So that's why I said I am so happy that you mentioned that. And I got the help that I need to get. So I'm really thankful for that. Because, like I said, during the pandemic, and then you also have the election and stuff, that's a lot of pressure too.
Yes, it is. And So thank you so much. And we are, we want to make sure that we are keeping up with everybody's time. Thank you, parents, for being online with us today, this evening. And we're looking forward to having Miss Victoria Perry work with your children. So
And
Ms.
Yeah.
Perry, can you just let them see your face if you can, so that they can know you're turned sideways, Miss Victoria. You got to
Let's get
switch.
my shoes, man. Time with this water.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay.
Okay. It's
All
here.
right. So
Who's
thank
the last to call?
Miss Irvin will call you. In fact, we'll have Miss Irvin to give you a call.
That's fine.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Thank
All
you
right.
so much. You all have a wonderful evening.
You
Okay.
too.
Thank you.
All right.
Good night.
Good night.
Night.
Good night.
Good night.
Bye.